Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today, we are joined by entrepreneur, digital content creator, and 2024 Forbes 30 Under 30 for social media, Serena Kerrigan. 2024, I mean, that is fresh off the press. Serena is best known for dishing out dating advice to her audience of nearly 1 million followers across TikTok, Instagram, and other social media platforms. We might even have to dabble into dating topics today. But in addition to her success in content creation, Serena launched her sex-positive brand SFK LFG aka Serena fucking Kerrigan Let's Fucking Go in 2020, which includes Let's Fucking Date card games, a spinoff from her Instagram live dating show, which we'll talk about, that she turned into product launches of 3 different card games for consumers to buy. 4 now. All right. I got to get my podcast editor updating this stuff. 4. We'll talk about it. In addition to her retail success, she launched another expansion within her SFK brand with SFK TV, a members-only platform for her own exclusive long-form content this past fall, which she describes as the future of TV. We'll get into the dollar and cents about that. But having cemented her reputation as the queen of confidence, we're going to put that confidence to the test and see if this successful businesswoman will talk money while making sure our audience can learn how simple things such as speaking to yourself in the mirror can create confidence, determination, and success as an entrepreneur. Serena, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets.
Obsessed with the intro.
How are we feeling after that?
I'm feeling really good.
You've done a lot of fucking good things in your career.
I know.
Huh?
I'm like, whoa, like list them out, baby. Celebrate the wins.
Exactly. We're going to get into the wins because it's pretty wild how it all started. So if you're listening, stay tuned to that. But what we want to get into is a most recent win. I can't believe I missed it. It was your RIP to my 20s birthday party. You and I talked about it when we were in Jalisco with Patron celebrating. And what I saw from the pictures, like I had expectations for this party. Mm-hmm. Those expectations were blown the fuck away.
Did you have FOMO?
I had FOMO. I mean, I was in St. Bart's that weekend, and I still had FOMO.
Damn.
Okay, but you know, we talk money here, so tell me.
Are you gonna be like, how much does it cost?
Of course, 300 people.
300
Talk to me about the event planning process, the cost of it, and then just listen. I think about this stuff. Return.
Yeah.
What's the return?
Walk
me through it, Serena.
Okay. To give a little context, especially if you don't follow me, you should.
Confidence right there.
Right. I went to Duke for college. Best place ever.
Not a big deal.
Literally obsessed. And created this persona called SFK, which is Serena fucking Kerrigan, larger than life. I was feeling insecure. I needed this persona to help me. And then that really ended up becoming my brand. But the way that it became more than a persona and this kind of larger than life moment was when I threw this birthday party called HBD SFK LFG. Happy birthday, Serena fucking Kerrigan. Let's fucking go. Mm-hmm. I transformed Shooter Saloon, which is like the best bar in America, into this like red carpet, like just like iconic. Everyone did get dressed up, glitz and glam. And so I really created this event where really the ethos of this persona is to take something that's ordinary and make it extraordinary. Mm-hmm. And so the same way I did that with myself and my confidence, I did it with this party and with this like saloon in the South. We created this very glam moment. And I said it was like the Met Gala of the South. And then every year I just continue to throw the party. And because I think that it's also very in line with my brand, that I think like celebrating your birthday is like celebrating your life and celebrating yourself. And that's why I love it, because it's that one day where you get to be like, it's my fucking birthday. Right. And I think that that is part of this narrative of like, how do you build self-love? Number one, you got to celebrate the day you're born. I don't get when people are like, I hate my birthday. Do you hate your birthday?
No.
Like, of course not.
Like, I'm not a birthday king or queen.
That's fine.
You know, I'm not going to make a whole week of it, but like on my birthday, we're going ham. We're going to have a day.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a really like first step. So every year I threw this party, and I mean like I did it for very limited budget for years and years and years. And then
what was the first age that you said like
21.
I'm throwing? Okay, so
21 it started.
Interesting.
And it was free.
Okay. Now, at this time, though, if we're going back 9 years, your Instagram social media platform doesn't exist.
No,
Yeah.
it's like very.
This
it's
is
nothing.
just
this
who
is college.
you the fuck
college.
are.
Who the
Okay.
I went to the. I'm scrappy. I went to the owner of the bar and I go, I want to do a private event. I'm gonna tell everyone I rented out. But she and I became like close friends. And I was like, we're gonna have the SFK shot. Like people will buy drinks. We'll do an open bar for like 2 hours. But like then everyone's gonna buy drinks for the rest of the night. Like it's gonna feel so exclusive, so amazing. And she just was like, done. Let's do it. And I created like my own shop there and everything. And then. I did that again the next year. And then I graduated from Duke and then I was in Manhattan and I was like, oh fuck, like how am I gonna throw this party?
Yeah. Hang on, let's do this.
We're on a budget.
Because you're on a budget. Well, hang on. So you got to throw this party in Manhattan. 2020 is really when you pop off on social media or start to feed this. When is the first time you throw a party? Is it 2020 when you have social media, or is it like literally right when you come from Duke? You're like, no.
I've thrown this party for 10, like literally every single year. I come home from Duke. I'm 22. I'm turning 23. And I got the Gray Lady. Have you ever been to the Gray Lady in Lower East Side? Okay, great. And I thought that I was renting out a room for free, which doesn't make sense. But like, again, like I'm young, I'm living at home, like I'm back from college. I don't even know how the world works. I feel like it's forever ago. And I remember I called them. I was like, I'd like the private room. They're like, no problem. And I was like, how much is it? They're like, it's free. And I was like, really? I was like, okay, cool. I remember I came all the way from the Upper West Side down to the Lower East Side with balloons in my hand. Like, and I get to the front and I'm like, I'm here for my party. And they're like, where's your ID? I forgot my ID.
Oh,
and they like, they were giving me a really hard time. And I'm like,
it's my
like,
name
look
on
at the
door.
balloons.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I'm like, it's my birthday. Don't you know this? They're like, okay, like you need your ID. Like you better get it downtown. My mom ended up coming to she wanted to kill me. Whatever. I walk inside and I'm like, where's my private fucking room? They're like this. And it was literally like a bench and there were already like a million jackets on it. And I was like, what? And they're like, this is your section. And I was like, what is this? And like, I don't know, but I ended up putting up my balloons and I got every year I do personalized M&Ms, just like with my face on them or just like HBSFK, whatever. And I got custom Snapchat filters made. So I guess I probably spent all in all probably maybe like $500 on my party.
Okay, so let's fast forward to 30. Come on, Queen of Confidence. What do you got? Let me take a shot. You want me to guess? I'll take a guess.
It's okay, take a guess.
How many people?
300.
Where was it?
The Skylark.
Was alcohol unlimited?
Patron.
Okay, so there was a sponsorship. We love it.
This was the first year I got the entire party sponsored.
Okay, what other, did you have an event planner?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, you don't understand the staff I had on this party. It was actually
How many total people on staff?
First of all,
total staff. Give it to me, Serena. 10?
Let me just say more.
20.
Staff that night? Oh, I wish you were there. Yeah.
I mean, I only saw pictures. All right.
I mean, it was like 2 girls from LA that Emma edit. They're amazing. If you ever like need a party plan in LA, your book party, whatever.
Did you
They flew to New York twice and they did it completely like,
fuck me.
Honestly, at a discount because they fucking knew what was going to happen. Like they were going to bring it, they're going to get business. To me, this was the year that solidified. First of all, I believe in this.
Yeah.
If you can prove yourself once, you can do it again and again. So
I
in the
agree.
beginning, when I started out as SFK, no brand wanted to work with me.
Sure, of course.
I think that Dove like passed on me because they're like, her middle name's fucking, like fuck that.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, I thought you're all about like real women. Like if you took a second to understand the brand, then you would buy in.
Totally.
But you didn't. That's on you. Whatever.
Right.
I just remember I said to my managers over and over again, like, I just need one. I just need one. I'll prove myself. And then I just need another. And I always think in life, like, that's how it is. Like, people don't want to give you a chance. But then if you just get one person, you get your foot in the door, then it's up to you to fucking, like, bang it out and get it done. Yeah. And I felt like the year prior, I had a birthday party for my 29th. It was Cosmic Orgasm themed. Okay. Because that was the year of my Saturn return. I don't know how into astrology you are.
Yeah, a little bit. Dabble.
Okay, good. I love that.
Dabble. Just touch and go, you know?
So that I got that was the first time I got a brand. It was Garnier to sponsor, to do people's hair at the party. They paid a little bit. Yep. But I was actually like
going
in
out
the
of
red.
pocket a little bit. Okay.
A little bit. I was like fucked for the whole year.
Okay, so like Hannah Godwin came on this and she was on the show and she was talking about her wedding. I took a shot at her wedding. I'm like, that had to be close to $500,000. She wouldn't give me the exact number, but what we did connect to it is from her wedding, they did, the PR team came back and said they did over 60 million impressions on that. And then in the recap, after we finished, I did all the analytical work to be like, even if she did spend $500,000, the amount that people would pay for 60 million impressions is astronomically higher. It's over 5 million. So do you have any idea, or do you know about like the media success as it connects to like impressions and brand and things like that?
Had I known you were gonna ask me all these questions, I would have come with a motherfucking report with a literal deck.
Okay.
But I didn't, so that's fine. I know that for me, what's important is like I don't. First of all, I believe that everyone should be paid. I think nothing in life is free.
Yeah.
Even if people that are back to work with me, I'm at least paying you like minimum wage. Like I don't believe that like people should ever work for free. And so I don't like asking for favors for free. I always, even my DJs who was like, one of them was literally my cousin who flew from LA, but I paid for her flight. Like I always think like Lannisters pay their debts, like Game of Thrones vibes. Like you always just need to like, because I don't want that over my back. I would never want someone to be like, yeah, like I busted my ass and she didn't pay me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate that. However, I love a discount.
Yeah.
And I know that like this wasn't just a party, this was a story about like my youth and my life. The second you walked in, you felt like you were transported into a funeral. And I think that like death is like very touchy subject, but when you make it funny, when you poke fun at death, like it becomes very like palatable and fun.
Sure, totally.
And everyone showed up all dressed in all black.
Yeah.
Like it was a fucking funeral. People were getting, I got paid for a tattoo artist this year.
I was going to say you had a tattoo station.
People
I
love
saw
the
a
tattoos.
coffin cake. There was the shrine photo booth. I mean, you didn't leave anything out.
I didn't. I want it to be a 360-degree experience because I think that this will be like, I want it to be like Met Gala, white party, Heidi Klum Halloween party, SFK birthday.
Let's
and
go.
it will be. Like it's 10 years in the making. We're just starting. You know what I mean? And I really think like there's not that much going on in March. Like this is my weekend. It's my fucking Super Bowl.
Next year, I am coming to
No,
your
I know.
Super
See,
Bowl.
and that's the thing.
I'm
Everyone makes a
fucking
mistake.
coming.
They don't come, and then the next morning they're just like,
I know. I saw it. All right, I got one more question on the birthday, though. Social media, you're candid about wearing this diamond necklace. You said it was valued at $1 million.
Can you believe?
$1 million,
Can you believe?
okay? So you woke up, you black out, you party. That necklace, thank God, was still on your neck. But a lot of the money mafia was like, wait a second. How did she get the $1 million necklace? Did she pay for it? Was it designer? Did she get paid to wear it?
Did I pay for $1 million?
No. Do you have to like pay to rent it, or did you have a jeweler give it to you? Give us the behind the scenes.
This is so funny. Okay. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
My friend is the owner of Maison Spoiled. Incredible name for a jewelry line.
Yeah.
He's
Sold.
a jeweler in the business. It's a family business. He's incredible. This is the kicker. The day of my party, the diamonds I wanted to wear diamonds. It's my 30th birthday. I was doing an outfit change.
This is the SFK fucking party.
This is it. This is RIP.
If you haven't learned back home.
Okay. So I was like, I'm waiting, and I asked to borrow. This is a great moment for talk about impressions to have everything. I wore a custom outfit, like everything. Obviously, going to be tagged a million times.
Mm-hmm.
Jewelry is easy. You wear it, you return it.
Sure.
Okay. My jewelry was stuck in California the day of, and it's a Saturday, so you can't bother people because they're not at work, they're not at the office. And I literally was like, what the fuck? Like this dress, it just needs a banger of a necklace. And I texted him, and I was like, I need a necklace, help. But he was like, but I'm coming to the party.
Too soon.
And I'm going to be with you.
Like every step of the way.
You know, like, I mean, he was in there. I think that he had a lot of trust in me.
So essentially what you're telling me is not only do you have a COO, you literally have literally like a nanny for your necklace.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have a nanny necklace.
Oh my God, a nanny necklace.
Chief nanny necklace
Obsessed
officer.
with that. I
CNNO.
prefer like a security detail.
Oh, okay.
But a nanny necklace, that works too.
Wow. Okay, so you paid nothing to wear it, but you're wearing the $1 million necklace.
I woke up with $1 million necklace.
Did he
I
wake
returned
up with you?
No.
So
there was
thank
a bit
God.
of trust there.
Thank
Like
God.
a trust fall. I think that I dramatize things on social media. I'm extremely responsible, and there was no plan because that wasn't going to happen.
Okay, I love that. That's a great transition.
There's no plan B because the plan A has to work.
Plan A has to work. That's a trading secret in itself. All right, there's another note I have here that you went viral on TikTok for this video talking about you talk about all your exes. That's like a theme.
Yeah.
But one of the stories that you shared was that an ex actually took you and your grandma out to breakfast and then retroactively Venmo charged you for grandma's meal. Now, this is so connected to my new book, Talk Money to Me, and the whole idea about talking money and feeling money. This was a little bit of a wild story. And so did you dramatize this, or is this true?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
this
walk
was
me through
so
this.
true. This was my boyfriend in 2019, so pre-pandemic. We didn't date for very long.
Give me an idea. How long were you dating when this event happened?
Like, we were like 3 or 4 months in.
3 or 4 months?
But this was
Okay. This was the you're out of here.
So basically...
Was everything good before then?
No, when we started dating, he was in California, I was in New York, and he got laid off like right when we started talking.
Okay.
And then he decided he wanted to apply to business school. And he was like, he's from New York originally. So he's like, I'm going to come back to New York and apply for business school.
Okay.
And I think like I learned something at a very important lesson, which is like, it's very important that when you're dating, specifically a man, because that's who I date.
Yeah.
They need to have their career like in line.
Define in line.
I think.
Do you attribute in line? Because people listening to this, it's 80% of women that listen to this show, but it's a business show. So when you say,
obviously,
you're
women
like,
in business,
you're like,
baby.
hey, let's go.
CEOs.
That gap is getting tight, and let me tell you, it's going to flip.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. So a lot of people listen to this and take advice from it. Define career in line. Is it earnings for you? Is it conversation?
Oh my God. Yeah,
what
let's
is
absolutely
it?
talk
Like,
about
what is
No,
it?
it's just about, I think if we'd been dating for 3 years and he got laid off, probably wouldn't have been an issue. But I think it was the fact that like we were just starting this relationship, like just starting.
Yeah.
He gets laid off. I'm also like kind of like really, I was in a really good spot in my career.
What year is this?
This was 2019. So this is before I actually blew up, but I was like.
What were you doing for your career?
I was a producer at Refinery 29 for
Producer
3.5 years.
Refinery 29. Give us an idea.
camera.
How much you make for something like that? 90 grand?
That's so sweet. I was making maybe like 45, 50 grand.
Okay.
And I was a producer at Refinery 29.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I left.
In New York City, too.
In New York City. And I was living at home. And I'd saved up and I finally moved to my Lower East Side apartment as we start dating, as he gets laid off. So he moves to New York. He's living with his parents. And then I can't believe we're getting so into this, but I don't give a shit. And then he basically was like living with me.
Okay.
But like living at his parents.
Okay.
And
living with you where?
I moved out. I went to Lower East Side.
But he was
it was
like
my first big girl apartment.
Now, did you guys have a talk at all? Again, bringing it back to the book.
No,
did you talk at all about like, hey, you'll chip in for this, or this are my expectations?
No.
Like that?
And I think that this is like, I can't even tell you how different it is than my current boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who love.
Yeah.
Like I think that is actually 100% where it started to crumble was the lack of conversation. I believe bad communication ruins a lot of good things.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's always about the communication. It's not about the subject
the same
matter.
thing with money. No, yeah, it's communication.
Right? So I think like there wasn't talk about that. I think I felt also a lot of pressure because I felt like he didn't also have that many friends in New York. Suddenly I was like his life.
Yeah.
Like I was the reason
that he was there, what he was doing,
and I was like,
and
then Then I get a sponsorship with Air France, which was so sly because I literally had like no followers. But
How
that
many
just
followers
goes
did you have?
I think maybe 12K.
What did the sponsorship like? What was it?
They flew me to France.
Okay.
2 first-class tickets, and then like that was really it.
Is it trade or do you get paid too?
It was a trade.
Okay,
and I didn't get paid, but back then like
that's huge. Yeah,
huge.
I mean, honestly, if it's like organic content, those flights are like 10, 15 grand. Yeah.
I don't go on business or first class. I'm spending on my fucking party. Like I don't like that's what you got to save and
Yep.
So it's like this was such a big moment for me. And I remember like I was like, okay, I want to bring my boyfriend. Now, see, this is the thing. And I think like I always think about this too in terms of like being in your feminine energy and like making money and like women in those kinds. How do you deal with this? Like my boyfriend feels emasculated because he doesn't have a job. But I want to invite my boyfriend to France with Air France. So I invite him. He's so excited. And then there's the hotel situation. And like I pay for the hotel. He doesn't. And I don't really think like, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But it wasn't like, I just knew he couldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
In this moment of time. So like I wanted... but I was like, we're staying in a nice hotel. Like I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, no worries. I'll get it. But
did you have the conversation or did you just get it?
No. I think, or
did you just like, I'm going to get it?
I think I was like, I'm going to get this hotel. And he was like, okay, great. And then
I think
like,
right there is where, so
Of
married,
course, there was no conversation. What?
Yeah, well, married or cohabitating couples, they say 73% of them say that money is an issue in the relationship. And of the 73% say that intimacy decreases with more than 50% of them because of the issues. So because you assume, because there's no conversation, now you're losing respect. Now resentment builds and now you're like, fuck this guy. And you haven't even talked about it.
100%.
You're just like, so I think it's a great example though.
But I think it's because, for me at least, like talking about money. I think now talking about money, and I'm very transparent and open with my team, with people, with you, et cetera. Like I'm happy to talk about it. I think that more knowledge is power. But I think like growing up, like I didn't know how to talk about it, especially with a partner. Yeah. And it feels very taboo. Which
I wrote a damn book about it. I still in circumstances like have to be like, all right, Jason, this is what you practice. You got to preach it, step into it.
Right.
100%.
So I think with this situation, I just remember like I got the hotel, fine, whatever. But then I remember like he didn't get internet for his phone, which meant he couldn't call any of the Ubers when we were around Paris.
Yeah.
And so then it just felt like, and I remember he paid for one meal, it was on Valentine's Day, which then I got like explosive, like something happened in my stomach, like I don't know. So like that didn't really end up going anywhere, sorry. But like I remember feeling like not so great about that trip, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
was the whole incident with your grandmother like shortly thereafter?
Correct.
And so you got to, for people that haven't seen this viral video, paint the picture.
Please, this is like, this is actually crazy. Which basically like my grandma's in town and he was like, I want to meet your grandma. I want to take her out to brunch. Like this was his offer.
Yeah.
And I remember, okay, wow, I'm
You're going back.
No way he listens to you.
You're going there.
I feel bad.
Don't say his name.
I would never. We had an issue was that he didn't use a fork and knife correctly or at all sometimes. He said that food tasted better with his hands.
No way.
So I remember we like, and I go, listen, like this isn't gonna work with my grandmother. She is literally like
traditional,
the proper, most like beautiful, perfect. Her name's Grace, and she is Grace, the most elegant person I've ever met. She like was a stewardess for Pan American Airlines, like in the '60s, like that bitch. Okay, I was like, your shit ain't gonna fly with my grandma, so don't do it.
Yeah.
So
tighten it up, buddy.
She literally. So I remember she orders like eggs, avocado toast. Me too. I do too. And then he orders a croissant, and I just remember he looked at the croissant and then looked at me and then was like. And he literally took out a knife and fork to eat the croissant. I was like, okay, that is the one.
That's literally a handful.
That was literally the one thing you could have actually eaten with your hands, but like that was weird.
Now your grandma's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Like, I don't know what his.
He doesn't use his hands? What a loser.
I can't. So then I just remember he ate his croissant and like didn't really eat all of it. And then my grandma was like, actually, like I don't know what happens. You get old, I guess you lose your appetite. So she was she actually had 3 bites of her meal. And then she was like, would you like some of mine? He was like, actually I would. Totally normal, little handoff, he's eating her food. So then why the fuck at the end of the meal, you offer to pay, and then the next day, I get hit with a Venmo request, specifically the amount for my grandma's food.
And he never
that you ate, and I'm not dramatizing the story.
But he never said like, hey, I literally am broke. Nothing. There's nothing there.
Nothing. And by the way, like, there's, people go through different ebbs and flows in life. Yeah, and I think like, I think that honestly I wasn't in love with him. And so this also just all compounded. Yeah,
manifested.
But I also wonder if all these things didn't occur, I don't know. But it's like what you said, I lost respect for him very quickly.
Okay, let's go to this then. So you give a lot of dating tips out there. So we're kind of dabbling now into like dating and money tips. So when you think about like warning signs, red flags when it comes to finances and people are dating, what are some piece of advice you'd give?
I think that this whole thing about like, we're specifically talking about traditional heterosexual relationships.
Yep.
Men have to pay. Sorry. Like they just do. Like at least masculine men. If you want to be a woman that's in your feminine, you want a masculine man that's going to take care of you. And that's okay, by the way. And I don't mean take care of you financially, emotionally.
Yeah.
They have to fucking pay at least the first 3 dates. At least. Let's talk first 3. If he can't afford to take you to
I think that's good. I think that's like, as someone that loves to kind of step into this and challenge, I agree with that. Okay. I would always pay for the first 3 dates.
Okay.
So I agree. But if I didn't feel that way, I would step into it. So I'm not just saying that. I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to take me to a nice restaurant, I don't want to go to a nice restaurant. Like for me, it's not about the nice fancy place. It's about the confidence you have and the excitement and the passion about it.
Yeah.
I want to take you. I had a guy once be like, I want to take you to a taco truck on our second date. I wasn't like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, he was just like, it's the best in the city. Can't wait. I show up. He couldn't fucking find it for an hour and a half. We were walking around an hour. And that's when I fumed. Because I was like, I was into the taco truck, but you gotta know where the taco truck is. Not like that's gonna be a problem.
Did you leave that?
I was very upset about that date. And he was like, you're getting so rattled. And I was like, because like that's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a man with a plan.
Yeah.
The plan can be anything as long as you are confident and you can take me there and you can show me and enjoy it and you're like excited about it. That's all I care about. And that's what women should be looking for.
3 dates, fair. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, tell me about though. You said there's one comment you said. In my feminine energy, I need, I don't need them to pay for all my shit. I need them to show up emotionally. Is that, say that again. Repeat that line. I'm going to take some notes over here.
I love it. And I love this conversation, by the way. So smart. I am a woman in my feminine energy. And it's hard because I think that women in general, like when we are at work and when we are CEOs with a COO and when we have our nanny running around with our necklace nanny.
Yeah, security.
We're leaning into our masculine energy because we're calling the shots. Like we're really like making decisions and that's amazing. When we get home, we want to kick up our feet and like be safe and be taken care of. And I don't mean like a foot massage, although that'd be great. I mean like, and I don't even mean like taking care of financially because I am making money and women are making money now and they are buying their own homes and they are, investing in their education. It's about being taken care of like emotionally and like just like having a guy like make the plan because like at the end of the day, like I just want to relax and I want a man that's going to be like, we're going to go to Subway tonight. Like, like whatever. Like I had to be down.
So your point is like, all right, the plan's made.
Fuck it. The plan is made.
Fuck it. Give me that oven roasted chicken.
Because it's like nice to not have to think and make a decision. It's nice to just be taken care of.
Okay. I feel that. All right. I feel that. I see that. I hear it.
But in the beginning,
I agree with that.
The man, you got to pay.
I agree with that.
You guys are making more money than us. Until we're equal, like you can pay.
Okay. And do you have
We're also paying for birth control, which I'm sorry, like you're not. We pay to maybe freeze our eggs, you're not. Like, so I don't know. I mean, like we pay for tampons, you're not. There's a lot of things that women pay for. I'm just going through the basics here. I think that a man can handle paying. And I don't think that he needs to. I went on a date once where this is perfect for you.
Let's hear it.
It was our second date. He texted me on Friday being like, hey, like I would love to go to dinner tonight. I go, okay. And he goes, I can't find a restaurant, which is bullshit. It's New York City on a Friday night. Yeah. And I go, okay. I went on Resi because like, I don't know. I'm friends with someone at St. Theo's. Sure. Said St. Theo's, perfect. Like I'll reserve it. He's like, I was like, does that work? He's like, absolutely. We get there and I go, I would love for you. I don't want to pick. Like I'm you pick the food. I eat everything.
Totally.
Pick whatever. He goes, oh really? Okay. Can you at least help me pick an appetizer? And I go, okay, sure. And he was just like, well, not the caviar. That's too expensive.
And that was a huge turnoff for you.
I wasn't going to pick the caviar.
Yeah.
Like I would never.
But it was the fact that
and it's funny because we just
did
talked about like how you have to communicate.
Yeah.
I didn't love it.
Yeah. I get that. I actually get that. No, yeah.
Like it's like I wasn't going to ever suggest like a $200 dish on our second date. Maybe.
Yeah, but I also think like if you're
but I said to him I didn't want to pick at all.
If you're agreeing to the place that you're going to, then you should have looked at the menu. And if you can't afford something on your menu, in my opinion, that's on you. And I'm all about talking money, but like it's a first date, it's different.
But also it's like you're putting me in this like I didn't want to pick. You're saying you have to pick, but here are but don't pick this. It's just like again, I don't want to.
So your take there is then if you're taking control of this, you pick. If you're okay, got it. All right.
Also, but I'm not saying
but those are two different. Those are interestingly different things, right?
They are.
Decisive taking orders a lot different than like money conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then number two, when we leave the restaurant, I was like, "Did you like it or whatever?" And he goes, "Well, had I known you were going to pick the most expensive restaurant in New York," which it's not.
Okay. You're like, please, bitch.
I was like, this?
Yeah.
And I was like,
cute.
And listen, the reason that comment bothered me was because it made me feel guilty.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad because it was like, you were the one that came to me being like, there's no restaurants. There are.
Yeah.
So you were lazy or you got scared.
Okay.
I suggest one and you agree to it. And then now I'm in trouble, like, because it was too expensive for you, then you shouldn't have agreed to it.
I love it. All right. These are good examples. People back home can take these examples. You can think on it and also give us 5 stars and let us know your opinion on some of these things. But let's also fast forward because we got to get into your business ventures, which is a laundry list. We could do a whole nother podcast on that. But before we do, let's fast forward to your now successful relationship. Okay. You got Felix. Talk to me about how, in a healthy way, you have good financial conversations with him that maybe in the past you didn't, and what it looks like.
and
what you would recommend. You are like the confidence queen. You are the dating queen for people back home. Like what you would recommend.
I think it's really I think this is the most honest relationship I've ever been in. I think something important to note is just also we're at different places in our life.
Yeah.
He's 6 years younger than me.
Yep.
So he's from New York, and so his certain living situation is great. I don't want to get too much into his private life.
Yeah,
I don't want to
totally. No,
but in the
no,
sense
no.
of I pay for rent in my apartment. He sleeps with me most nights,
Sure.
if not every single one in mine.
Yep.
And we could theoretically go to his, but I just like being in Manhattan, in my West Village apartment. But he's spending most of his time with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically, I didn't have to go to him and say, well, I'm paying rent. What are you? He was just I take care of the groceries or any Amazon things. I help pay for the cleaning lady. And I don't know, I felt like that was a really, he's taking care of
so he is proactive and I'm going to do this,
Very
I'm going to do
proactive.
this because I'm doing this. And then you're just good. So then no resentments built because you understand where you're at.
Exactly. I would
Perfect.
never
That's
ask
beautiful.
him to ever pay rent because that was never something that we ever spoken to and agreed about
Yeah.
ever. That's never in a million years would I ever.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that and honestly, in some ways, he isn't indebted to me at all. But it's the fact that he is so proactive because he doesn't want to ever make me feel like there's not an equilibrium.
Are you guys thinking about moving in together anytime soon?
I think right now it's a great setup because he basically his home that he lives in is the one that they own.
Okay.
So it's great. And he doesn't have roommates or anything. So
Okay.
it's why would you spend rent when you basically own your apartment?
Okay. When you guys decide to move in, we're going to do a little episode for everyone listening.
Oh,
we're going to have
God.
both of you at the table.
Okay, yeah.
And we're going to talk about all
I honestly
the
can't wait.
We're going to talk money. We're going to go through all the questions. How about that?
Oh my God, I would love
you
to.
in? Okay. Until then, I need to get into your career because it's been kind of a wild career, right?
Wild.
So you go from refinery, you're making, you said a producer there around 45 grand. You then start popping off on social media. You do this dating game where you date 50 guys, right?
It was a dating show.
Dating
it was because I didn't want to go on The
Sorry,
Bachelor.
I called it a game.
Sorry, I didn't want to fight for a guy. So
you're listen, I'm not
You
going to
don't
go through
understand.
this bullshit. I'll be the Bachelor.
literally, I was going to be the producer, the host, the contestant, the gaffer, lighter, the hair, makeup, costume, everything. I was me.
Did it all.
Did it all.
Okay, so you go through that.
And I sold the second season for 6 figures.
No way.
Yeah, Bumble bought a month worth of episodes.
You took the lines right from me. Did you make any money off the first season?
No.
Okay. Second season, how much did you lose?
Oh yes, I did.
Did you lose money?
Bumble bought a couple episodes.
Okay.
Maybe 2.
Okay. And then you do
Yes.
the second season and you actually got them to sponsor the whole thing.
I got them to sponsor
6-figure deal.
I got them to sponsor a month of episodes. And then I did Bev, which was a great beverage company,
Yeah.
Hint Water, Mum Champagne, and Bumble. So I got 4 sponsors to sponsor these episodes, which wasn't done in live Instagram lives. That people didn't do that.
No,
But they were literally
people really still don't do a lot
I know.
of that.
But
That's
it
still
was a
rare.
place and time.
What-
Also the numbers were crazy.
How what was your follower count at this point, if you had to think about it?
Under 100K.
Okay, see, I absolutely love that though, because you made that 100K yourself. You didn't go on a show, you made it yourself. And then you got a 6-figure deal by creating yourself. And to me, I think that's inspiration for people that are listening that have ideas, that are thinking, go do it. You don't have to be, get this TV show or anything. You don't have to have 10, 5, 3, 2 million followers. You could do it by just creating, just go do it. And you did it. Okay.
Hell yeah, I did.
You did it. All right. Now let's talk about this. So at what point in your content creating game, and we're going to get into your card game in a second, but are you starting to out earn what you were making before at Refinery, knowing that you made 45? How long did it take you of content creation to make 45K plus?
I think if I quit my job in February 2020, by September, because I launched my first card game then.
Okay.
September, I was making well over.
Was it the card game that got you there, or was it ad deals that got
was
you
both.
there? Okay. Gotcha.
It's to this day, it's pretty split 50-50.
Really? The card game is still half of your revenue still to this day. Okay. So talk to us a little bit about the card game. There are a lot of people out there that have ideas for games and thoughts in games, but my brother created a card game. It's hard. It takes years. I feel like it takes a long time
Literally
to do.
took me 5 minutes.
Okay. So tell us.
I think a lot of it's about being at the right place at the
Took
right
me
time.
5 minutes.
No, I literally Googled how to make a card game. And then we were literally I got it. I mean, I think here's a couple things. One, I think the pressure of being this has to be my perfect idea is what fucks you in the end.
Yeah,
For me,
totally.
I was I'm just going to I was dating 50 men in 2020. I had to come into these episodes. We didn't have edits like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
This was live. So like, and I was the producer, host. I was everything. I mean, I also had other producers help me too. And like all the dates were blind. And that was like really important to me. So like the men would like, I would go on live.
Yep.
And so be like, hey, like all dressed up, looking fucking fire with my little drink, whatever. And then my producer would text me from my computer. I'd be on my phone being like, hey, Josh, 1, 2, 3. Is coming on. So I would like let him into the live.
Yeah.
Date 2 guys every week. And then if I liked them, it would continue an hour-long date. Just to give you some context.
Yeah.
So wait, what was the question?
Okay. Do you want me to go back to the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was it?
So, we're going back to the card game.
But where
and
was
so
it?
you said, like, how did you make it 5 minutes so quick?
Sorry, there's just so many guys I got onto my head. I had to come into every day ready. Like, not like, where'd you go to school? Like, it had to be ready, hot questions.
Yeah,
so that's why I started
what
writing down.
triggers you? Well, why'd your ex break up? What's your sex preference? Boom.
If you were a soup, what kind of soup would you be?
Interesting.
Great question.
Great question.
So I started writing all these down, and then people would reach out to me and be like, can you send me the list?
What was the worst answer you ever got to the soup question?
Like chicken noodle. So fucking basic. Like, I'm obviously French onion.
What's the best answer you ever get?
Like some like crazy, I don't know. No, I think chicken noodle's fine. Like I get it. But like
I think it's
one of
more
those soups that I've never heard of.
Question like that, it's not how you answer, it's how you describe it, in my opinion.
Amen.
Yes.
So, and I'd like to know yours. Do you have one?
I already got it.
Of course you do. What is it?
So mine would actually be, clam chowder, but I'm not talking clam chowder. I'm talking Boston clam chowder at the fucking harbor when you're in the marketplace. And I want the bread bowl and I want the guy with the Boston accent screaming chowder here. And I want to walk around and I want to dip the bread in there and I want to just take in the harbor. That's the best one right there.
Wow.
Because it's different. It's unique to that place. You can't get it everywhere and it's good. And it's fulfilling too. You don't need anything else after that.
Okay.
There's
well
the
done.
answer.
Exactly. So you would have done great on my dating show. You obviously have a little practice though, so it's fine. Sorry, I had to do a little bit.
Little dig?
Okay,
was that a dig or pump tires or what? No one's asked me what kind of soup I had, but that's fine. Card game. How'd you make it?
Right, so exactly. So I had to come up with these, I just needed questions, whatever. And then I literally like Googled, I was like, how to make a card game. I called a place. I got a designer. It was very casual. And I say this in a way that like, for me, it was about the story.
Yeah.
I was the perfect person to sell this game because I was putting myself out there online, making a business.
Yeah.
During lockdown, no one had anything to do. All of the fucking content dried up very quickly. So this was this community interactive show that everyone had. So who better to sell a card game being like, this is how you're going to date. This is how you're going to date on Zoom. When you're on Zoom having FaceTime dates, this is what you're going to use. Me. And that's what it was. It was about the story. So when you're like, why are you the best person to sell your book? Like, I'm sure you got to write that. I'm writing right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I think that's a very helpful thing is like, why you? Because if you know why, then you can sell anything. You can sell anything.
So that's a really good tip for anyone listening right now. If you're going to an interview, if you have to sell like your boss on your next annual review, like why you? And if you can't answer that question,
forget it.
Who the hell do you think can answer? You think your boss is going to protest for you when doors are closed? Absolutely not. So that's a good one. But you create the game. How much does it cost to create the game?
Very little.
Couple grand? I don't need to know how much you like. I don't need to know your margins, but like I'm just if someone was like, oh, I want to create a game, a card game. How $3,000 to like create like?
I'm sorry. Do you have like a good memory? Like I can't remember shit 4 years ago. Yeah, like not that much.
Okay.
Let me put it this way.
It wasn't like a huge investment.
Started with 250 decks. Yeah. This game does not take a lot to make. It's paper.
Like
under $5 to make.
Yeah.
I sell it for $20. I sell it now for $29.
Yeah.
It used to be $25.
I will. I'm not just plugging this too.
The margins are great.
You gave me a deck. All right, I got a confession. You gave me a deck.
It's about time.
When we were in the Mexico, and I took it, and then I had some dates coming up. You want to know what I did? I took like 4 of the cards and I put them in my suitcase, or like my jacket, whatever I was wearing, just in case. Like I was like, all right, let's play a game. I love a good game. They're great questions.
Okay, hold on.
They're
sorry.
really
for a
good questions.
So this means that you were on a date and you didn't have the deck with you. You just had the 4
I
random
had
cards. So you were prepared to literally just be like,
oh, yeah. Well, I just don't give a shit, by the way. I'd also be like, hey, I met this girl and she came up with this game. We're going to fucking play it. You in? Loser takes a drink. Like, I would have just ripped it out.
Did you? You did it?
I didn't conversation was flowing. I didn't, but listen, that coat, wherever that coat is, those cards are still in there. So now talk to me about your card game. You sell it $29.
So I ordered 250 decks when I first started. And I was like, if this is good, then I'll order some more. And I think that's another thing. I think that entrepreneurs or people in general, like even podcast, I remember I thought I was going to start a podcast in 2019 and I bought all the fancy equipment before I recorded one episode. So I didn't even know if I liked doing it. Turns out I don't. I just want to be interviewed. I don't want to interview. So I think whenever you have an idea, just see if the idea, like see if you like doing it. And I think that was the same thing with Let's Fucking Date. I just went live I started going live. I was like, I'm going to have do a blind date one night. I didn't say like, I have to have a show. I have to have sponsors.
Like all the things
like stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Just like feel it out.
Just
and
go
so
do it.
That game, I mean like turned into another game, excuse me, called Let's Fucking Fuck.
Okay. You said you have 4 now though.
Then
so
let's fucking play.
Date, let's fucking fuck, let's fucking play.
Which is like the masturbation one.
Okay, that's by yourself? You play that game by yourself?
You could theoretically.
Okay, got it. And then what's the fourth one? Okay,
it's my newest baby.
You have some decks.
This was the friend one.
Okay.
This is the front one.
Real quick before we get into this. So 4 decks, $29. How many units around do you think you've sold?
Ooh, close to 100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And
do you have a lot of competitors? Like, are there competitors trying to not? I mean,
I think that a lot of people.
Because it's so branded to you. Like your face is on it. It's so branded to me. Okay, let's give people one or two. Which is what? Which is your competitive advantage?
Or if you don't know who the girl on the box is, maybe you're not.
Then someone else can just replicate it.
No, I think that's what I realized. I was like, I've seen a lot of games come out. I've seen them look like my game.
Yeah.
I feel like what gives me that advantage is like people aren't just buying a card game. They're buying the brand, right? That's why we buy anything, right? So I feel like that's an advantage. However, if you're not familiar with my brand, maybe like seeing my face with my blonde bob, which I don't even have anymore, like, and a crown, like, isn't what, maybe you're like, who is that?
Sure.
But whatever, that's with anything.
Fair. But obviously huge success. This is connected to half of your revenue right now. Wow, amazing. All right, let's take one out. Let's do one game here. Where can people get it? They're listening right now.
Let'sfuckingdate.com.
Let'sfuckingdate.com.
And Revolve. We have big Revolves. Okay, here we go. What's the most public place you've ever had sex?
Interesting. Most public place?
Yeah.
Do we have to play this game?
Okay, I'll do something. I wanted to see if you were down. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's see. What's weirdly hot but shouldn't be?
What's weirdly hot but shouldn't be? Oh, that's a good one. What is weirdly hot but shouldn't be? I find a little bit of our difference. Like, I think like a strong, like independent woman who's just like doing her thing. I think that's so hot. Like when, like, you know, some of the stuff when you said the feminine energy, some of it I so connected to, but I'm also always attracted. I think this might sound weird, but my parents, they're both like super alpha. They're both strong personalities. Mom and dad, see them banter. I've seen them both win arguments. And so I've always been attracted to like a strong, independent woman.
Let's make it abundantly clear that is 100% what I am. Okay. And I think that being in your feminine doesn't mean.
So tell me about that.
I think that it's like a duality. I think there's a duality there. You don't think that I'm a strong, independent bitch with Felix?
You are strong.
Like, I'm literally
you are. That's why I was like, tell me more.
It's how do I describe it? It's
like you are, like your brand is strong, independent
bitch. It's a ping pong. Yes, exactly.
Like that is, if I had to define your brand, I'd be like strong, independent
sometimes
boss.
Sometimes I don't want to be that. And I think that that's like finding a man that like sometimes I can relax with. It doesn't mean that I can't be that anymore. Yeah. It's more that like when I want to take off that cloak, I can relax and have someone like take care of me. But I think it's a ping pong. Like we go back and forth.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is like, especially with social media and everything, and you get into like the therapy side of it, like when technically you're doing this, not saying it's not you, but this is like when we're doing this right here, right now, we are ourselves, but technically we're a product.
There's the camera.
We're a product, right? And so the idea of like, when it's not product mode, that's what you're saying, I think.
And it doesn't mean that I'm not an independent baddie.
Yeah, well, you are. We know that.
But it's like
everyone
I can
knows
like
that.
relax and like have him take me out to dinner and it's okay. But I also think like if there was this expectation of being submissive,
Yeah.
never having a voice, never speaking up, that wouldn't work for me either.
Okay, got it. Okay, I love it. All right, so guys.
Independent women, obviously weirdly hot.
A lot of taste.
And should be.
Yeah, like very, very attractive. Okay, so 4 card games, and whether you are single, you're in a relationship, or you're just looking for friendly conversations, you have a deck for everyone. So go check that out at Let's Fucking
And you better
Date.com.
use Let's Fucking Fuck or date with whoever you're fucking dating.
What do you think? If you had to paint the perfect picture of a person for me, what would you say it would look like?
Someone
Give me something.
Independent.
Okay, yes, check. Into that.
Confident.
Very much into confidence. Got it?
No drama.
Yeah, interesting comment. Okay.
I don't really
Anything
I'm
else?
not well read into your dating life, but I just think like, it's just like
Yeah. Go with the flow.
go with the flow.
Enjoy life. Okay. I'm catching what you're throwing.
Love and happiness.
I will use this deck when I'm ready to go for it. Another business venture. What?
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few in my coat pocket ready to go.
Wait.
A few more I got for you is you launch, and this one I had to ask you about, the SFK TV. So you talk about this being the future TV. You're charging people $6.90 a month, $69 for access. Like, is this a big revenue generator for you? What's the brand play? Talk to me about the business.
Okay, so just to give you context, like all this is really great what I do. And I know, like I love empowering people. I love empowering women. I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. That is the end goal. I'm writing a feature film right now.
Okay. Now, is that derived from mom's work?
My mom and dad, yeah. Or they're both in film
So
and television.
your mom is in MTV Unscripted, right?
Yes.
What's your dad do?
He's a showrunner for TV
gotcha.
and film.
Amazing. So your whole life, this is the world that you've been brought into.
It's all I know. It's all we talk about. It's all we have in common. No, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. But it's really like that this is what I grew up with. I always want to be a filmmaker. I'm the next Sofia Coppola.
Quick side note before I go down this track. MTV Unscripted TV, I feel like reality TV was made for someone like you. Was that an avenue you ever considered?
No, because my mom was like, I make unscripted reality
So
TV.
she wouldn't let you go in.
Fucking not.
She wouldn't let you go in.
You don't understand. I would come to my computer and people were like, we submitted you for The Bachelor. Like everyone was like, you are perfect for The
Why
Bachelor.
wouldn't she let you go? Protection? Like she knew how bad it can get?
Because of course. You're at the mercy of the producers.
But she also knows how good it could get.
Sure, but like it's like I think that my parents, especially because I came from wanting to be a filmmaker, they were like, what's the intention here?
Yeah.
And it's like, create your own. My parents are always like, I wanted to be an actress, and they're like, write your own stuff. So with reality television, it's like, what do you want? Like, make your own show.
It
was always out of my household. It's just like, make it yourself.
Media fame, go get it.
It was make it yourself. So like with Let's Fucking Date, it's like, why be on The Bachelor when I can make my own show?
Okay. Interesting.
A little different.
I think there's a good takeaway though for anyone that's listening at home. Like this is someone with parents in the industry where you could have got a leg up, and they're like, go create it. If you want to do something, go do it.
Nepo baby slay. Like I absolutely definitely had. I mean, there's a reason why like Let's Fucking Date was such a well-produced reality show.
Yeah.
Babe, like I literally was trained since I was 5 years old about reality television. Like I knew how to produce that show in a really smart way. But I do agree.
What is one thing you did producing that show that you're like, that was fire, that like someone back home listening would never know if they didn't like have exposure that you did? One production tip you used.
There was just a lot of producing behind the scenes, a lot of talking to the men. It wasn't just they showed up on a date. There was a lot of ego stroking.
So that they gave you the most vulnerable.
That they wanted to do it. It's scary. It's live.
Okay.
All your friends and family are watching.
Yeah.
Because you're going on with your account, right?
Yeah.
So when you go on with your account, everyone gets a notification. Imagine when you go on The Bachelor, every single person that you've ever known got
totally.
They probably did. So, and it's also like I had this persona that I played on the show that was like a smart, independent bitch.
For sure.
And so I think it was about, there was a lot of behind the scenes of like making them feel excited and good. And by the way, this wasn't a show where I'd bite their head off at all.
Okay.
It was like supposed to be fun.
Okay.
And it was.
Got it. Interesting. All right. So
but there's just a lot that goes on behind.
Then bring it back to that.
Okay, so SFK TV. So what I wanted to do was I was like, I want to be a writer-director. I'm actually writing a feature right now. Can't wait to get your take on it off camera.
Okay.
But how do I start? It's very similar to the Let's Fucking Date. I was the perfect person to sell the card game.
Yeah.
So now I felt like everything is about branding. Everything is about storytelling. Everything is about storytelling.
Yeah, it's all story arc.
All story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to be a director. I want to be taken seriously as a writer. I want to sell a movie and make a movie. We have to start changing the story out of Let's Fucking Date into TV, right? Film. So I was like, instead of starting a Patreon, and this is interesting because SFK TV is dead. I just killed it.
Okay.
And so I'm glad that we talked about it. So, and it's very interesting. This is the first time I'm talking about it. So I'm like excited to tell it to you. Because basically, I didn't want to start a Patreon, even though that's essentially what it was.
Sure.
It's a subscription-based content model, right?
You put something out.
But I like that it was whitelisted. It was SFK TV, so you really didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think that in the beginning, that was very sexy and fun. And every week I would post an episode. I would shoot. It was very high production value.
Okay.
I would do an episode with Felix, or I would do, it's kind of like a podcast.
Yeah.
Behind a paywall. Ultimately, I realized that if you don't give your consumer something free, right, or they can't see what they're about to pay for.
They're not going to pay for it. Yeah.
Which is like, but I had built a lot of trust over years, and we had actually a really healthy subscriber account. But one, I felt beholden to having to make a piece of content that was long, over 20 minutes every single week. I couldn't. It's a lot.
Yep.
And also I want to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, we're making beautiful, high-level content. No one was seeing it except for the people subscribing, which wasn't anything to write home. Like, there weren't that many. So and also, something else is I really wanted community. And we weren't, it was like Quibi. Like, you weren't even, like, talking to each other. Like, what was it? So then I started, I after 6 months, I actually started to, but I have a really healthy newsletter, which is something else. If you're want to be in business, content creation, I think, start a fucking newsletter. Yeah. I started my newsletter in 2019, and now it's almost at 20,000 subscribers, which is really high.
Yeah, totally.
It's very high, very healthy. Huge. We have like over a 65% click rate, like open rate.
That's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's just one way that you can grow. Even if you're not growing followers, TikTok, you don't want to do it. Like, that's an easy way to build and to build community. Anyway, the point is that I transferred it to Substack, and this is why. Do you know what Substack is? Mm-mm. Okay, Substack is like this new hot platform that you should absolutely get on. Okay. And it's basically a newsletter, but it also has everyone else's newsletters. So it's like a feed.
Oh, interesting.
Okay? And all your newsletters are also like...
So I could put my newsletter on Substack.
Exactly. And that's what I did. And so I basically, and what you can do is you can also put paywalls in front of certain articles.
Okay.
So basically what I did is I moved SFK TV to Substack and called it The Plot.
Okay.
So just rebranding.
Okay, cool. I love it. So you're rebranding that.
Subscribe to The Plot.
And are you still doing the confidence coaching?
No, I'm not anymore.
Okay, so no more coaching.
But that was great.
That was great. Well lasted. Give us, you're a confidence coach. You're doing one-on-one confidence coaching. Give us the best tip you can give someone back home that's lacking confidence.
Stop speaking badly about yourself. Like literally
never.
Never.
Do you ever, I was wondering about this. Do you ever have like a big thing in like therapy and just like growth is self-awareness? Like
There's a difference between self-awareness and criticism.
But do you ever, I know. But I was like, do you ever have those moments where you're like, you know what? I'm not the baddest bitch. I'm struggling today. I'm really weak, actually. Like, do you ever have that?
I feel weak. I don't feel like the baddest bitch. Feelings are temporary. They go away.
Okay.
Saying I'm not, like, or I suck, or I'm not smart, like, you wouldn't say that to your best friend. I think it's about saying it's feelings. And by the way, I'm not saying that, like, you can have done something selfish, but that doesn't make you a selfish person, right?
Right.
So I think that that's also like, it's not this like in totality statement,
absolutes.
grandest
like
statements.
Absolutes are terrible. Never say absolutes.
And also like,
it's like a therapy thing. Yeah.
You're allowed to like not like your friend. Sometimes you just don't like them. They're annoying, whatever. But like at the end of the day, like you love them and you have to treat them with that respect, and like you wouldn't talk shit about them. And so like you are your own best friend. You are the one constant in your life. Like if you're not like respectful to yourself, then like who the fuck will be?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Good.
Like a feeling of what you're feeling today is not totality. It's just how you feel. You feel like shit. Well, you feel like shit today. Tomorrow you'll feel great. That doesn't define you. You are not shit. You just feel like shit. You feel sad. You are not sad. You just feel sad. I like that. That is great confidence coaching. All right. So confidence coaching, the SVK TV, you have total. SFK. Edit that out. SFK. There's a lot of words popping around here.
Yeah,
SFK TV. And then your card game is killing it. Let's look at your career. Like, what's the goal? 5 years from now, where do you dream it up?
Something that we didn't talk about is like just like my branded content. It's on a different level.
That's I mean, that's your main calling card. That's everything.
Yeah,
right?
That's everything. And so what I'm trying to do more and more, and I just did this with Plan B One Step, is I convinced them to let me do a 4-part miniseries on my page where I write direct the whole thing, integrate their product within like a story arc that you see every week.
Yeah.
And my audience comes back for more episodes. that's what I want to start doing with all brands is like, how do we create like episodic television or film within like social media using like the budgets that they give me to like promote their product, but I can also tell a story.
This is interesting because I have a talent management company. We manage all kind of talent A to Z. And the way you're selling to brands is very different than like we would ever sell to brands. Like who's doing, are you pitching? You're like, do you have a team? How are you pitching to brands like this type of ad placement? Because it's very different than like 99% of all content creators.
I think that I've been doing this kind of ad work since 2010. I have been doing it since 2020. So I've become known for it. So there's not a lot of like, for Plan B, like if the first time we worked together, I pitched that to them, they would say absolutely not. This was my 4th time working with them. So like they know, they love the idea because they're like, of course she loves that. At the end of the day, they want people to not. What I do with advertising is like, I don't want you to feel like it's an ad.
Yeah.
But that means sometimes we won't be going like, this cup is plastic and durable. Like we might not even be talking about the product that much.
Right there.
And brands don't like that sometimes.
No, of course.
But
not.
I'm like, what do you want?
Because
at the end of the day, like,
get it.
and also feeling.
Yeah.
I want people to feel something. You're buying into a feeling. You're not just buying into the product.
I like it. All right. Give me, this is because we got to wrap up and I got to get your trading secret. Give me 2 things because we talk numbers here. Your goal. What is your goal? Within a certain period of time, I want to make this amount of money off my content creation. Give me a goal. Speak it out.
I mean, billionaire bitch, obviously.
I get it, but give me a dollar off content creation in the year you're going to make that much.
Oh, I've never done that. I don't like feeling so, but okay, let's manifest. I mean, I'm going to make a movie and I'm going to win an Oscar. That to me is more important.
You're going to make a movie and an Oscar.
And win an Oscar.
When? Give me an
by
idea.
2027.
Wow.
4 years.
Amazing.
3 years.
Do you have any, give me any, you could say on the movie we're going to make it. Give me $1 amount that you're manifesting. $1. It's the biggest deal you got. It's the biggest content creation. It's you sell the company for. It's something that you see that's realistic within your vision. $1 amount.
22 million.
22 million for what? Put it out there. You're going to sell your card company for 22 million?
Oh, would love to sell my card game for 22 million. Honestly, I think I will.
Okay. There we go. You said it right here. You're starting to question it, but I think it's became reality.
I was like, was it enough? I think I could have gotten more.
22 million.
22 million
here
is
it comes.
baseline.
Barbara Corcoran, let's go.
No,
get her in the game.
Sharks, baby.
Right around the corner. Here
This is interesting.
Go.
Do you think so? I'm a huge manifestor, though.
Yeah.
Do you think that but I don't, and maybe this is like how I was raised, taboo, whatever. I don't do that with money. Like I believe firmly, I've always believed this, the money will come. And I would spend all of the money that I would get from these brands on making of the content itself. Yeah. And my managers were like, you're crazy. I'm like, because I'm doing a high level. And that's why I'm able to get these kinds of deals. Yeah. Because I've just like proved myself. But I don't speak at I don't go like 22 million, but I'm like, do you think that this is an important part of manifesting and like getting what you want?
I think so. I think it's a huge, with the numbers, I think it's the same thing as like what you want out of life. Like I think you got to put it out there to get there. Right. Now I'm the polar opposite though. I am more of like, I'm like, I don't know, well, when's the next deal coming? When's the next deal coming? Never. I need to get more like you now because all the deals are there. They're flowing, they're running. It's like, let's reinvest.
Always.
But I think there's no way you get there without saying, like, if you're like, okay, this year I'm going to make whatever your number is. I want to make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. I want to make 100,000. I want to make 10,000, whatever your number is. I think when you do it, the second you say it, just like anything else, you start to like learn the behaviors of like, wait, am I today, did I do what it would take to make that? Today, did I do what it would take to get to my card company to 22 million? Right? There you go. So I think it's the same thing as manifesting. I think a lot of things that we do in therapy and life and everything, we just got to connect it to numbers because for some reason we were taught not to talk about it. But that's what we do here on Trading Secrets. We talk about it.
Nice.
So we got to wrap up with your trading secret. We heard a lot about your business ventures. It's been a very busy 4 years for you. You're killing it, knocking it out of the ballpark,
Thanks.
Staying true to your brand, and then living that brand through events and all the things on a day-to-day basis with content creation. So one trading secret could be a money tip. It could be a career navigation tip. It could be a life tip. It could be a dating tip. It could be one of each, but it's just a trading secret with Serena Kerrigan that we can't learn from a professor, can't get in a textbook or learn from a TikTok tutorial, only from you and your experience.
Well, I would open a 401k.
Okay.
I opened one when I was in my first job. My first job, I was a voice actress on Nickelodeon on Go Diego Go, the spinoff of Dora the Explorer.
Love that.
And
Wild resume you have.
No, insane. Truly insane. And I was making really amazing money. Voice acting goes fucking crazy. And I wanted to spend it all. My parents were like, no, we're going to give you $25 each session and we're going to put the rest in 401k. And like, I think that is how you build generational wealth.
Okay. So we're going to do one of each.
And you maximize every year. And I do maximize it.
I love it. 401k, retirement planning. Make sure you're saving today. You're right. Because if you save today, you're right for tomorrow. That's your financial tip.
It's so annoying, but it's literally like, do it.
One thing I always say is like you think about what you prepare for a week vacation. So much. Who's watching the dog? Who's getting your mail? What outfits are you wearing? Where are you going? Who are your flights? The hotel, blah, blah, blah. You do that. When you retire, that's a 1,500 plus week vacation. Think about how much planning needs to go into it. And all we do is kick the can. So that's a great financial tip. Give us one dating tip.
Dating tip?
Trading secret. One trading secret in the dating space.
You have to complete yourself. Like you have to complete yourself. And everything else is an additive. Get to a place in your life, go to therapy, work through your shit, get excited about whatever you're doing for a living. Connect with your friends and people around you. If you're constantly being like, where is he? Where is he? Like he ain't coming. The same way you have to stop doing what deal is coming in. Like that negative, anxious energy is going to repel.
Yeah, totally.
Just like have faith in yourself.
I love it. The last one.
Thanks.
The last one we'll get for you is your career, and your resume is wild. A to Z, lefts, rights, and it just keeps going up. So give us one career trading secret. How to
do what you
navigate
love.
a career.
My parents were like, do what you love. Like the money will come.
Okay.
They always said that to me. Do what you love. My dad was going to go into the Marines. He quit. He went to Columbia Journalism, then went to NYU Tisch, then like makes movies. My mom is a full-blown doctor in Argentina, finished residency, psychiatrist, moved here, went to film school, is now a top executive at MTV. The point of this is to say that both of them didn't do what their parents wanted them to do, focus on their passion, and are massively successful, did not start out with anything really. And I think like for me, they always were like, do what you love. You spend the majority of your life working. It's a lot of time.
Love it. Career
and the money
advice.
will come.
The money
and it did.
will
and it will
come.
22 million.
Did, and it will. 22 million. Could you imagine the birthday party once you exit for 22 million? It's going to be next level. It's coming. We're seeing it now. Serena, where can people find everything you have going on?
Serena Kerrigan on everything, every platform ever. Subscribe to my Substack called The Plot. It's sick. I do it every Thursday at 11 p.m. or a.m. Let'sfuckingdate.com for my card games, and just wait. Get your popcorn ready because I'm making a movie.
You're making a movie.
And I'm winning an Oscar.
And you are winning an Oscar. And we have this clip for when you accept that Oscar and you give that speech. We're going to play it right here, right now in 2024. Serena Kerrigan, this has been entertaining, exciting, electric, and also insightful. So thank you for being on Trading Secrets.
Thank you for having me.